Well, hello and welcome back to Martini Mondays. Today is going to be quite the show, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to tackle my gigantic basket of shame. And these are eyeshadow palettes only. So if you are curious to find out what are all the eyeshadow palettes I have purchased throughout the past 2 years, I think everything in here is been purchased within the past 2 years. If not, I will let you know. So stay tuned for an epic basket of shame. Well, hello. The time has come for me to address my problems. 2023 is going to be the year of imperfection, but the year that I also try to actually tackle some of those imperfections. And we're going to start with my giant basket of shame, as we like to call it here on YouTube, or essentially things I've purchased and have yet to use. It's a very dreary, rainy New York City evening here, so I apologize for all the noise. You're hearing all the rain. I'm on the first floor, so you're hearing it against the AC, the windows, the ground, I mean everything. Basically, all of that ruckus is unfortunately rain, and I'd like to get a Martini Monday up for Monday, so here we are. We are going to just plow through and deal with the noise, and I hope you guys don't mind, and I apologize if you do. Our Martini of the night is an apple martini. I really enjoy a good apple martini, and I will make sure to link KeatsCocktails.com, which is where I get a lot of my drink recipes. I mentioned in my very first Martini Monday that Keaton Gear is the father of one of my former students, and he makes fantastic drinks, and now he has his own website of recipes, and I believe an Instagram account too. So I'll try to find all of that information, link it down below for you guys in case you want to try some of those drinks. I highly recommend. Let's jump into this huge basket of shame so that we are not here until Tuesday. Cheers, guys. All right, before I jump in, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Natalia. I'm a concert pianist who loves all things beauty and who clearly has a bit of a shopping problem, but that's okay. We're tackling that. We're trying to buy less and use more of what is already in this apartment. We have a huge basket, as you can see, of eyeshadow palettes in front of me. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I don't know if I'm gonna just like hold it in my lap the whole time or just put it down on the floor and reach down for things. So I guess give me a minute to figure that out before we get started. And while I do that, you guys are welcome to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell and like this video and do all the things. I would love to have you here for my journey of not only showing you these eyeshadow palettes, but actually using them this year. So if you wanna be around for that, please do subscribe. I would love that.
Oh my gosh, I'm surrounded by eyeshadow palettes.
Which is usually something I love, but I'm a little bit overwhelmed of even where to start. Obviously, these are all brand new. None of them are swatched, I don't believe. So I'm just going to open them up, show them to you, and that'll be that. Because clearly, if I also sit here and swatch things, we're not just gonna be here until Tuesday. We're gonna be here until the next Martini Monday. I'm just gonna grab and go in no particular order. I have this Tarte High Performance Naturals Leave Your Mark eyeshadow palette. This was a gift, a generous gift from a subscriber, and I've tried a lot of the things that this person sent me, but this is one of the palettes I have not yet gotten around to. It smells lovely, and while it's nothing super exciting, considering how pale I am and considering how I'm going through a year of possible purging in the future and testing out old makeup and seeing if the formulas are still good, I'm gonna keep this and try it out because hopefully this will actually be really nice. I've heard lately that a lot of Tarte's new palettes are very, very good. I'm really tempted to try that Jewel palette that everybody keeps talking about that released in 2022. They just released a mini man-eater or whatever it is that also looks really pretty. But of course, considering how much I have, I need to slow it down and first try what is already in my collection. Next up are two palettes from Dominique Cosmetics, the Celestial Celestial Thunder is something I got in a subscription box a long time ago. So this is not from the past 2 years. This has been around with me since before my no-buy year. So for those of you that don't know, I started my YouTube channel in 2020 with a no-buy year. So this is something I actually acquired even before that, and I just haven't gotten around to it, but I just can't part with it either. I really think the colors are super pretty in here, and I have yet to try the Dominique Cosmetics formula, even though I have another palette of theirs as well that you're about to see. So we'll see if I get around to this one. The other Dominique Cosmetics palette I'm talking about is this one. This is the Berries and Cream. I can't remember if I purchased this one also before my no-buy year. I want to say so. I'm so sorry, the rain. The rain is even bothering me, so I can only imagine how annoying it is to you guys. But if I put this video off, I just will not be able to get a Martini Monday this week. So we're just gonna have to grin and bear it. I'm so sorry. This is what the Berries and Cream looks like. I remember buying it on a super sale. Now, what that means by now, I couldn't tell you guys. I know by now a lot of people have decluttered this palette, and here I am, never even used it yet. By the way, if you have any of these palettes, or if you've had any of these palettes, if you've decluttered or kept any of these, and you want to give me recommendations for the must-haves that I should try first, please let me know. I would love any and all advice, considering just how much I have. It is, of course, overwhelming, so I need to have some sort of a system, and having you guys chime in and let me know what I really should be focusing on first would be so helpful. Okay, I have a couple of, more than a couple, I have several Glamlight palettes. I did purchase their entire, what was it called? It was like the Happy Hour collection, I think, and I believe I have gifted one of the 4 palettes that came with that collection, and I've tried one of the palettes this past year, meaning 2022, of course, because we're just starting 2023, but there are 2 from that collection I have yet to try. The Wine palette, which looks like so, beautiful purples. I really do like purple eyeshadow, so I really hope to get around to this. I feel like this one's maybe a little too purple, even for my taste, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes. And then Chocolate Martini, which I am really excited to try because I'm trying to upgrade or test out more of my neutral palettes and see if I end up getting a few discoveries in my own collection of like my tippy top favorite neutrals. I just tried for the first time, no, sorry, for the second time earlier today, the Huda Beauty Empowered palette. That video probably will go up right after this one. It's going to be a try on of all Huda Beauty products. Opening this up, while I don't think they're similar at all, I see a few shades that might be, so this would be fun to test next to that. And then the other 2 Glamlight palettes that I have, I purchased at TJ Maxx or Marshalls. One of them is the original Michaela palette. I don't have her most recent, but I saw this for a really good price at TJ Maxx or Marshalls, and of course, you know, something bit me in the behind, and I decided for some reason that I need it. So here we are. I mean, are the shades beautiful? Absolutely. Is it a little overwhelming because it's a little too large for me? Also yes. So I'm gonna have to really work in some sort of a system here to try these shades. Of course, the greens are calling my name because I love greens. We have yet again a bunch of purples, so this would be good to compare with the Wine palette. And then it looks like these top 2 for you right now, bottom 2 rows are looking pretty neutral. So I'm gonna have a lot of playing around to do and a lot of comparisons to do to see if I really need to keep all of these Glamlight palettes. And then if that wasn't enough, we also have the Cake palette, which is very, very colorful, probably too colorful for me. I like playing with color, but I'm not like super duper great at it. But again, there are some really pretty shades. I'm really enjoying these reds and cranberries here, so maybe that's something I should start with. Then there's a few yellows, which could be really fun. Of course, we have teals and greens, and again, some purples. So we'll see. We'll see. I also don't know, considering that these 2 larger palettes are older, I don't know how the formula will compare to the Happy Hour collection. And of course, I know that some of their more recent palettes have been getting even more rave reviews, like the Frosted Flakes, and then there was the Scooby-Doo collection that I think they're coming out maybe with a part 2 soon. But considering how many Glamlight palettes I have that I haven't even touched yet, obviously I'm not going to be picking any of those up at this moment. and I first need to play around with these. Okay, next we have 3 melt palettes. I've never tried melt because I bought 3 palettes and I haven't tried any of them yet. So I have their Amor y Mariposas palette, which went on super duper clearance at some point, and that is when I bought it, and I cannot part with this box because it has this gorgeous velvet on the inside. But of course the actual palette is even more beautiful. I mean, this is I have to give it to them. This is stunning. Like, the butterflies are raised, and even if this is just going to become some sort of a art piece for me, I don't see how I could possibly ever get rid of this palette. These butterfly imprints, hello. Like, this is so beautiful. So beautiful. I can't believe I still have yet to try this palette. I am one of those people that has a really hard time destroying imprints, so this is going to be one of those that I am absolutely going to have to take a photo of before I actually dig into it. It is one of the top ones I would like to try. In fact, if you guys want me to do a video, I was considering doing a video of like top 5 or top 10 palettes of all of my unused ones that I would like to try first. And then of course, as I said in the comments, I would love for you to let me know what you think should be my top palettes to try first. And then I do have this. I do have this Vida and Muerte palettes that were their holiday release from 2019. And believe it or not, I did not buy it in 2019, even though I was not yet on my low buy, and I was watching people review these and swatch them, and I was this close to purchasing them. They were still available, but because my mindset was already to head into the no buy, I really didn't want to just be purchasing a ton of things just, you know, because of that rush of, oh, I must buy it now because I'm not going to be able to buy anything for a year. And then of course they completely sold out, and it was a whole thing. And these palettes, especially the Muerte palette, were selling for a ridiculous amount on Mercari and Poshmark. And then they finally, after people were begging them, brought this one back. This one I purchased in 2021. It came back for like a hot minute and I got it. And then this one I purchased recently in 2022 when they did bring it back for a short time. So I am super thrilled to have them. Some of these are of course minor regrets, but I have to say this for sure is not. Even if I never use them, I don't care because they are just so stunning. I'm sure you've seen these color stories a gajillion times. This is the Vida palette. This is the one that is of course the bright colorful one with the reds and the oranges and a few neutrals and some yellows and greens. And then we have the Muerte palette, which looks like so. And granted, from all the videos I've watched more recently and all the friends I've made here on the platform, I know a lot of people grabbed this when it came back, and I think in comparison to more recent melt palettes, they were quite underwhelmed by the quality of you know, the formulas of these palettes. But as I said, honestly, I don't care. Like, this is one of those almost collectible pieces that I am so excited to have. I'm not usually a collector per se. I actually do buy things generally because I really love the color stories and I want to use them on my eyes, but this is something I'm gonna treasure regardless. All right, let's talk about Juvia's Place. I have a ton of Juvia's Place palettes, and most of them I actually have been using for many years. I've had many before my no buy, and I have purchased a few since. There was a time when all of these little monochromatic 6 pans were on sale. I believe they were, oh gosh, like 8 or 10 of them, and I think I picked up 6. So I have tried a couple, but these are the ones I still haven't gotten around to. So I have the violets. I have a lot of purple palettes, I'm realizing. We're gonna have to see. I'm gonna really have to, I think, compare formulas and see which ones I truly need. I have the Sweet Pinks. This is one that I am regretting a little bit because honestly, I don't wear bright pink eyeshadow almost ever. I did a little bit in 2020 when we were all in lockdown and I was wearing all sorts of bright colors on my eyes, mostly to just walk around the house and drink and film videos. I don't know, I have it, so I feel like I should give it a chance, but maybe that's one I would actually give away before I even use it. On the flip side though, the berries, is that what it's called? Yeah, the berries I really want to use. I've been very interested in this one for a while and just haven't gotten around to it. One of the melt palettes that I have been really interested in ever since it came out is the She's in Parties. I think that's what it's called. And I feel like a few of the shades here remind me of that. Maybe these are a little brighter. That one seems a bit more grungy and subdued, but it has also those like deep berries and mauves. And speaking of mauves, I also have the mauves. So I feel like between the berries and the mauves, maybe I can sort of dupe the vibes of She's in Parties. Let's see. I would have to look. I would have to look it up and compare. I know I've seen She's in Parties a gajillion times, but of course now without a reference or a computer or phone in front of me, I couldn't really tell you guys how true my thoughts are on this. I also bought the Magic Mini on like super duper sale. In fact, I bought 2 of them at the time, and I have since gifted one to a friend who is here on YouTube, actually, Tan. I'll link her channel, but I know she's done, I don't know if it was YouTube videos or if she did some Instagram reels with this palette. I think she's taking a break from Instagram at the moment, but if I can find any videos of her using this palette, I will link that. This one I'm excited to try. I feel like this is one that maybe is going to confuse me a bit. I feel like the colors are a little bit jumbled for me, so until I sort of decipher how to use this is, you know, this might be a little bit of a problematic one for me, but I remember the price was so great. I couldn't resist, even though we all know how that goes. Okay, this one is the Nomad, and I have, I believe, swatched or used the middle shade only, but I haven't used anything else. So I put it in here just because it is only that one shade that I've ever touched or used, and I can't even remember which it was. Okay, one of the few indie brands that I have several palettes in my collection of and I really enjoy is Nomad Cosmetics. But even so, I have 2 palettes from them that I haven't used. I think I have 2 or 3 others that I have, but I still have not ever tried the Whistler Snow Lodge palette or the Paradise Islands palette. Let me show them to you guys in case you haven't seen them. I know a lot of people that I'm friends with and that I watch have this palette and have done videos on it, but I have yet to touch it. Again, with Nomad, one of my biggest issues is these darn gorgeous imprints. It took me at least a year to finally start using the other palettes that I own from them, even though I would buy them at launch. While I appreciate the imprints because it makes these palettes so special, my brain just has a hard time destroying them, and I need to figure out how to get over that. And then the Whistler Snow Lodge looks like so, and I really should try it this winter before the cold weather leaves us in a few months, because this screams winter. In fact, I should do a video if it's not too late. Let me know, guys, what do you think? Is it too late to do like a top winter palettes, or should I still do that? If I do, this one's definitely going to be in that video. Okay, I have a NARS palette that was also a gift from a subscriber, same wonderful fairy godmother that I mentioned before. She sent me quite a lot of palettes and I have tried a bunch, but this one I also just haven't gotten around to, but I really want to, because again, this has the potential to be like a perfect travel neutral palette. It's screaming at me that it might become a favorite. So we'll see. I finally need to give this one a try. I also have a couple of lipsticks that I purchased from the same collection. This is from the Claudette collection, which I think came out in 2020, because I do remember being very intrigued by it, but not being able to purchase it due to my no buy. And then they still had some of the lipsticks left over on clearance on their website last year. In fact, I did a video trying all of the NARS products, like almost a full face of NARS. I can link that, but I don't believe I tried those lipsticks. I think I tried a different one. But yeah, this palette definitely needs to be used. Okay, next I have 2 Colourpop palettes. I in general only have, I want to say maybe like 5 Colourpop palettes total, maybe 6. And one of these I've had for an embarrassingly long time. This came in a subscription box way before my no-buy. I believe this one was a little bit of like a drama scandal thing, because I think it was initially supposed to be a collab with Kathleen Lights, and then something happened and she came out with other palettes with Colourpop, and this one they just put a sticker over. I didn't peel mine off, but I believe other people did back in the day. It's a basic neutral palette, and I don't know why I still haven't used it. Like it's been years. It really has been years, almost to the point where I'm just like, do I bother? But if not, what do I do with it? I feel like it's too old to include in a giveaway and gift to one of you guys in the future. I don't have that many friends who love makeup nearly as much as I do. If you know anything about this, you had me at hello, whether it's any good, whether I should use it. I've put this before in a video that I did in 2020, which talked about all the eyeshadow palettes I have not used yet. And since then, of course, I've tried a bunch of those, and this is one I still haven't. I remember somebody back then telling me it's a great palette, but I think actually may have been Eden. Eden, you usually watch all my videos, which I love you, girl, for it. So let me know, were you the one who told me that that is a good palette, and should I still try it? I also have the original Hocus Pocus, which I bought on like a second, third, or fourth time it came back. I did not get this initially because, again, it may have come out in 2020, and I don't have the other two Hocus Pocus palettes. The most recent one did catch my eye, but I'm trying to lay low with Colourpop. They release way too much. They've done some shady things. I don't know. I'm staying clear of Colourpop for the moment. And I have this one, and I have yet to use it. So why am I gonna buy the other one? If it's good quality, this again has the potential to become a really great neutral palette for me. I love the packaging, love Hocus Pocus, love the packaging. So of course, that is definitely what sucked me in, the nostalgia that Kara from Beauty and the Frizz often talks about with Colourpop. That's how they get us, and I have yet to use it. Let me know, is this one worth keeping? I mean, I kind of feel like I want to, based on the fact that I love the aesthetic of it, but if I'm gonna keep it, I should use it. So I have one Wet n Wild palette that I have yet to use. I have a bunch of Wet n Wild palettes, and back in, was it 2021? Yeah, I think it was in 2021. I wanted to do like a whole video on Wet n Wild eyeshadows, and that was when I had a lot going on and I actually went off YouTube for a while. So I still have this one left over that I have not tested or tried. All the other ones I did for that video. The video never went up, but I have the palettes and I still enjoy them once in a while. This one I haven't tried yet. Another neutral palette, so we shall see. I don't know. There's a lot to try here. I have one Tom Ford quad that I haven't gotten around to. I think it was 2022. That was the year of the Tom Ford quads for me, because I finally snagged some at the CCOs, at the cosmetic company stores, for like 22 bucks each. Of course, I would never spend $90 on these. I can't afford it, first of all, and second of all, I honestly think it's just bloody ridiculous. So the only one out of the 4 I think that I own that I did not get a chance to try this year is Body Heat. For all of you Tom Ford lovers, I'm sure you guys know exactly which one this is. Let me know how this one is in comparison to the other ones. I'd love to hear what your favorites are so that I can see if I own any of them. Okay, I have a couple from Sydney Grace that I have yet gotten around to trying. I finally bought a whole bunch of Sydney Grace things in 2022. I only had the Mel Thompson palette in the past, and I love that palette, and I have been wanting so many other Sydney Grace eyeshadows. So when they were having their Christmas and July sale, I bought quite a few, and the 2 I have not tried yet are Where the Wild Things Grow, which looks like so. I have a feeling I'm going to really enjoy this one. I love 9 pans. They're not overwhelming, but yet they give me enough variety to create multiple looks. So I have a feeling this one's going to be right up my alley. And then the other one is the Coffee Talk palette. Now this one, does it say? Oh yeah, it's the light. I mean, for somebody my skin tone, I always do try to go for the light in the Sydney Grace eyeshadow palettes, but I love the fact that they do a light and a dark so that it can be used by many many more people. We've got those two. These are definitely not going anywhere. I know I will get around to these. It's just a matter of time. All right, I've got one palette from LA Girl, which I found on clearance from, I don't know, TJ Maxx, I think. Yeah, TJ Maxx. And this one is the Fierce Wild Eyeshadow Palette. They had a bunch, actually. They had at least 3 or 4 different kinds. And of course, even though they were only $, I was like, all right, girl, you've got like what, 50 others that you have yet to try. I mean, I didn't even need this one, but for some reason I just couldn't resist. I was curious about the formula. Looks like this plastic thing is stuck on here, so I apologize. I'm sure I'm blinding you. I hope you can see the color story even with this stupid plastic thing on. I don't want to peel it off right now. It has beautiful rich browns. It's got these blues and a pop of yellow, and then 2 rows of neutrals. I was curious. I figured, you know, for $8 I'd like to see what the LA Girl formula is like. It's a drugstore brand, I believe, more affordable, and I like more affordable, especially if it performs well. Okay, and then I have a bunch of BH cosmetics because, again, in 2021, before I left YouTube for a while, I had this idea of testing out as many BH cosmetics palettes as I could get my hands on sale, because that's how I roll, and then doing like ranking videos and testing all of them out. And then after I bought them, they went under. And then of course Makeup Revolution bought them, and then I also stepped away from YouTube. So it was just a whole bunch of situations that collided and prevented me from ever trying a lot of these palettes or filming those videos. So I have tried quite a few from the ones I've bought, but the ones that I still have yet to try is the Los Angeles palette, which is their pastel palette. I believe this is the only pastel palette I own, so I am really curious to try it. I got this at Marshall's for $7.99. I have Beautiful in Barcelona in the old packaging, which probably also I purchased at TJ Maxx or Marshall's. This one looks a little dark for me, but it does have a couple of lighter shades. I've realized I really like to have a wide range in my neutral palettes. I really like them to go from very light to very dark, and sometimes you don't get that. The blueberry muffin, like this is what blew up the internet, and I have yet to try the blueberry muffin. Again, another great winter palette. I should really try this now. And in the same vein, I bought the Passion in Paris. I don't remember if I bought it off their website or at TJ Maxx, Marshall's. Again, this one is much more purple than the blueberry muffin, but I feel like this would be a good winter palette too. Again, I'm sorry, it has that plastic, so I don't know if you guys can see anything. I'm probably just over here blinding you. And then the last one I have is the BFF palette, which looks like so. Again, it has these stupid plastic things that don't come off. I heard good things about this palette. Was it from Kara C? Maybe. I think Kara C at some point really liked this one. All right, and then last but definitely not least, and I'm not gonna take them out, I know a lot of makeup lovers here on YouTube follow Pat McGrath. I really love her eyeshadow palettes, although lately she's been a bit polarizing with the whole Star Wars sticker. Mostly I'm not going to take them out just because it's a bit cumbersome with my storage, and they all have the outer packaging, but you guys know what Pat McGrath palettes look like. If you want me to do a separate video showing you guys the ones I have yet to use and maybe doing a look or two with each one of them, let me know. But the only one I did pull out is last year's holiday palette. I have yet to try it. Pat McGrath is probably like what I'm embarrassed about the most, just because it's so expensive. And don't get me wrong, I did not purchase a single one of her palettes at full price, not even close. I bought the first 3 motherships on the glitch sale, so I think they were all 50% off. So I have all 3 of those that are untouched. You know, I want to be transparent with you guys. That's why we're doing this, so that you also let me know like where my priorities should lie. I bought this when it went on also super sale. She had several sales last holiday on this, and I snagged it. I can't remember for how much. Like it was in the 30s or 40s instead of the $70 or $80 that this originally was. And then I have at least one other mothership that I got, I think during like the 40%, 35, 40% sales, one of the more recent ones. I think it may have actually been the palette that she just came out with the Star Wars sticker. Is that the Mothership 6? So I definitely have a few motherships that need some loving, and then I also have this one, which is the Mega, the Celestial Odyssey from last year. I don't have the very first one. I don't have the one from this year. And that is my eyeshadow basket of shame, guys. So cheers, I made it. I made it through alive. Wow. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Like, I didn't cry. I'm still here. All is good in the world. If you want to see a video where I show you guys everything I haven't used that is not eyeshadow palettes, let me know. I'd be more than happy to film that too. I'm sure it's going to be less. But there's lip products I haven't used for sure. There's a few complexion products. So there's definitely things to go around here as I'm looking through. And I could definitely do a video about that. I feel like at least in January, that's what my Martini Mondays are going to be. It's basically a bit of roundup of everything I have, just to, you know, see where am I starting the year with. I don't want to say it's like, you know, to shock me, but a little bit in a good way. Like I need a little bit of a wake-up call, because the past year and a half, I just was blindly buying things because of my emotional state and, you know, all sorts of things. And now I'm actually excited to try things and to compare things before I just blindly buy. If I was more organized, I would have loved to do what somebody like, for example, Alejandra Lizette does, where she has an app and she actually tracks everything and takes pictures and can see color stories. I don't think that's gonna happen in 2023 for me, but if I can at least start organizing things and do it my way, and, you know, dip my toes into comparison videos and duping the vibes and things like that, then I will already be so happy with myself. As I said, if you have suggestions for me for where I should start, any video ideas for what I should do with some of this brand new makeup, I know some of these palettes might not be available anymore or are super old news, but I'd love to know which ones you have from my collection of unused palettes, so that I also know which ones people might still be interested in seeing in some sort of a capacity. One of the things I would love to try this year, if I'm brave enough, is doing like palette bingos and things like that. So yeah, palette bingos, duping the vibes, shop my stashes. Of course, I have my basket of dooms. So if you have any other ideas of how you would like this content to be presented and what would be most entertaining and most helpful for you guys, I would absolutely love for you to chime in. 2023 is my year of getting back to me, enjoying playing with makeup, making even more friends here on the platform. I'd love to get to know you guys all better. Yes, I'm super busy. Yes, I don't promise that I'm going to be able to have lengthy daily conversations with everybody, but I'm going to do my best to at least comment back whenever possible. Feel free to message me on Instagram if you have any questions about any palettes, if you ever want any swatches or anything of that kind. And other than that, thank you so much for being here. Please consider subscribing if any of what I just rambled sounds interesting to you. I hope that you guys are doing well, that you are continuing to stay safe and healthy, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Cheers and bye, guys.